So you can see it very easily with, for example, in Magic Flute, you have the rhinoceros that's shot. And you read that very clearly as a rhinoceros that's being shot. If I was simply to show you the close-up first, before you see the wide shot of the rhinoceros, it's a series of abstract black marks moving across the screen. But because we've seen that other rhinoceros wide angle and the person with gun shooting at it, we absolutely bring our knowledge of what a rhinoceros looks like, even though it's not at all what it looks like in that moment, and we construct that as we understand that what we're seeing is that rhinoceros in its death throes. So, I mean, if you think it's blurry, black and white, it's got nothing to do with the rhinoceros, which is, not that color, not out of focus like that, not fragmented. So very often, I think, with projection as one example, where the screen is that membrane between the world and oneself, where there's something that comes onto the screen, in this case from the projector, and something that we bring to understanding that projection as we see it. And whether it's just our retina, it happens the same way, but I think on a screen it kind of makes manifest what is otherwise invisible.
And of course, as a process, it's not different to other processes that we go through. I think it's a very visible manifestation of how we do have to go through all elements of the world. I was struck by a remark that you made once in something you wrote, where you said that we don't just see that which hits our eyeball. Seeing is a constructive exercise that we have to invent.
Yes. Yes. So, for example, in the stereoscopes that I've been doing, which we'll have on the exhibition, in the stereoscopic gravures, when one looks in the world with one's, going through the world, one's not aware of seeing in 3 dimensions. One knows the world is 3-dimensional, and that seems to be what we are seeing, but we're not aware of constructing that image. When you have a stereoscope, you very clearly see one flat photograph, and you see another flat photograph or drawing. And when you look at them through a viewer, there's a kind of an amazement as they suddenly go into 3 dimensions. So what that makes palpable, what that makes very conscious, is what we're doing anyway, which is a flat image on the left retina and a flat image on the right retina, which our brain constructs into this image which you think of as the real world, because we know the real world has dimension as well as extent. But it makes that activity of seeing, or the work we do in seeing, kind of the subject of any stereoscopic. It's kind of that moment of how did those 2 images, which you can see are flat, completely convince you that you're in a space of depth.